Stoicism is an ancient philosophy that, even after centuries, continues to offer wisdom and guidance for modern life. Originated in ancient Greece and perfected by the Romans, this practical philosophy teaches us to live with virtue, wisdom, and tranquility, regardless of external circumstances. Today, we'll explore the 4 fundamental principles of Stoicism and how to apply them to our everyday lives. These principles are the foundation of Stoic thinking and provide a powerful guide for facing challenges, making decisions, and building a balanced and meaningful life. Let's discover how wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance can transform the way we live and help us achieve lasting inner peace. Principle 1. Wisdom, Sophia. Wisdom, or Sophia, is considered the supreme virtue in Stoicism. For the Stoics, wisdom is the ability to discern between what is within our control and what is not, and act in accordance with that understanding. This virtue is fundamental because all others depend on it. Without wisdom, we cannot fully exercise courage, justice, or temperance. Definition of Stoic wisdom. In Stoicism, wisdom is understood as the knowledge of what is good, bad, and indifferent. According to Epictetus, it is not things that disturb us, but rather the judgment we make of them. This means that our interpretation of events, not the events themselves, is what determines our emotional and mental state. Wisdom teaches us to focus on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, and to accept with serenity what is beyond our control. Applying wisdom in daily life. To apply Stoic wisdom in everyday life, it is essential to practice distinguishing between what is and is not in our control. Here are some practical ways to incorporate wisdom into your daily routine. Daily self-reflection. Set aside time every day to reflect on your actions and thoughts. Ask yourself, did I react to this wisely? Did I worry about something that was out of my control? This practice can help increase your awareness and improve your future responses. Meditation on evil. This technique involves imagining possible adversities you might face and how you would deal with them. Marco Aurelio practiced this regularly, believing that preparing the mind for future difficulties helped to face them with more calm and resilience. Meditations, 4.3.4. Reading Stoic texts. Reading and reflecting on the texts of the great Stoic philosophers, such as Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, can provide valuable insights and inspiration for living wisely. Seneca wrote, "Life is long if you know how to use it." Historical examples and quotes. Seneca is an excellent example of someone who lived and taught Stoic wisdom. In his letters to Lucilius, he often emphasized the importance of distinguishing between what we can and cannot control. He wrote, "Be content to be a reasonable man, and if you want to be more, you will also be a fool." Epictetus, a freed slave who became one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, taught that true freedom comes from understanding what is within our control. He said, "Do not seek for events to happen as you wish, but wish for them to happen as they happen, and you will have peace." Marco Aurelio, Roman emperor and practitioner of Stoicism, applied wisdom in his daily reflections. In his Meditations, he often reminded himself of the importance of accepting what he couldn't change and focusing on what he could. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not over external events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Conclusion of the principle. Stoic wisdom invites us to live in accordance with nature, accepting what we cannot control and focusing on our own actions and attitudes. By incorporating wisdom into our daily lives, we can find greater inner peace and resilience in the face of adversity. Always remember Epictetus' words, "Happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle: some things are under our control, and some things are not." Principle 2. Courage, Andrea. Courage, or Andrea, is the virtue that allows us to face fears and adversities with bravery and resilience. In Stoicism, courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the ability to act correctly despite fear. Stoics believe that courage is essential to living a virtuous life and facing the inevitable challenges that arise. For the Stoics, courage is deeply linked to the idea of living in accordance with reason and nature. Marco Aurelio, in his Meditations, reflected on the importance of facing difficulties with courage, seeing each obstacle as an opportunity to strengthen character. He wrote that, "The impediment to action advances the action. What is in the way becomes the way." This means that the challenges we encounter are not barriers, but essential parts of the path that leads us to growth and fulfillment. Practicing courage in everyday life involves several concrete actions. First, it is important to recognize the areas where we feel fear or discomfort and begin to address them gradually. It may be helpful to start with small steps and increase the difficulty as you feel more confident. For example, if you are afraid of public speaking, start by speaking in small groups before presenting to a larger audience. Join our Stoicist journey at Buy Me a Coffee. Support with a donation or as a member and have a voice in our community. Every coffee fuels our mission to share wisdom. Be our pillar, make a difference today. Furthermore, Stoic courage also involves persistence and resilience. Seneca wrote that, "Life, if we know how to use it, is long." It reminds us that courage is also about keeping trying, even when we face failures and difficulties. Each effort brings us closer to our goals and strengthens our ability to face future challenges. Epictetus, in his Discourses, taught that we should see difficulties as opportunities to practice virtue. He said that, "Do not seek for events to happen as you wish, but wish for them to happen as they happen, and you will have peace." This courageous acceptance of circumstances helps us deal with adversity more effectively and find inner strength. Marcus Aurelius, as a Roman emperor, faced numerous challenges and crises during his reign. His Meditations are a testimony to his constant practice of courage. He often reflected on how courage was needed to lead and make difficult decisions. In one of his writings, he mentioned that, "You have power over your mind, not over external events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This reflection shows how he used courage to remain calm and determined, even in times of great pressure. Stoic courage is not just limited to great heroic acts, but also manifests itself in small, daily decisions. Facing a difficult conversation, persisting with a challenging project, or maintaining integrity in pressure situations are all expressions of courage. Constantly practicing this virtue helps us build a strong and resilient character. To develop courage, it is helpful to practice daily self-reflection and meditation. Ask yourself where you can be braver in your life and take concrete steps to act more bravely. Remember the words of Epictetus, "Who is powerful? He who is able to govern himself." This phrase reminds us that true courage comes from within and is about having control over our reactions and actions. In short, courage is a central virtue in Stoicism that enables us to face fears and adversities with bravery and resilience. By applying courage in our daily lives, we can overcome obstacles, grow personally, and live according to our deepest values. Courage allows us to transform difficulties into opportunities and gives us the strength to pursue a virtuous and meaningful life. Principle 3, Justice, Dikaiosine. Justice, or dikaiosine, is the virtue that guides us to treat others fairly, honestly and impartially. For the Stoics, justice is fundamental to social harmony and human cooperation. It involves acting with integrity, respecting the rights of others and contributing to the common good. The Stoics believe that we are all part of a universal community and that our happiness is intrinsically linked to the well-being of others. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations that, "What is not good for the hive is also not good for the bee." This means we must always consider the impact of our actions on the larger community and act in ways that promote justice and the common good. Applying justice in everyday life can be done in several ways. Firstly, it is important to treat everyone with respect and dignity, regardless of their differences. This includes actively listening, being empathetic, and avoiding hasty judgments. Furthermore, practicing justice involves being honest in our relationships and commitments, keeping our word and being transparent in our intentions. Seneca emphasized the importance of justice when he stated that, just because someone is an enemy does not mean it is right to harm them, and it is not because someone is a friend that it is right to help them do harm. This highlights the need to act fairly, even when it is difficult or unpopular. True justice demands that we do what is right, even when it is not convenient. Stoic justice also involves the idea of helping others and contributing to society. Epictetus taught that we should use our talents and resources for the benefit of all. He said that true wealth is in giving, not in having. By sharing our time, knowledge, and resources with others, we promote justice and strengthen community. Marcus Aurelius, in his leadership as emperor, always sought to act justly, despite political and military difficulties. He reflected on how justice was essential to governing effectively and ethically. In his Meditations, he often reminded himself of the importance of being fair and compassionate, even in times of crisis. To develop justice in our lives, it is helpful to practice reflection and self-evaluation. Ask yourself, am I acting fairly toward others? Am I contributing to the common good? By doing so, we can identify areas where we can improve and take concrete actions to advance justice in our communities. In short, justice is a central virtue in Stoicism that guides us to treat others with respect, integrity, and impartiality. By applying justice in our daily lives, we can contribute to a more harmonious and fair world, promoting the well-being of all. Principle 4. Temperance, Sophrosyne. Temperance, or sophrosyne, is the virtue that helps us moderate our desires and actions, maintaining a healthy balance and avoiding excess. For Stoics, temperance is essential to living a balanced and rational life, allowing us to control our impulses and passions. Temperance teaches us to find a middle ground in all areas of life, whether in food, consumption of material goods, or emotions. Marcus Aurelius wrote that, "Nothing is good for a human soul that does not make it fairer, more temperate, more courageous, or wiser." This means that temperance is not just about moderation, but about making choices that strengthen our virtue and well-being. Practicing temperance in everyday life involves self-discipline and self-awareness. Firstly, it is important to recognize our desires and impulses and assess whether they are aligned with our values and goals. For example, when making food choices, we might ask, will this help me maintain my health and well-being? Likewise, when managing our finances, we can consider whether we are spending consciously and responsibly. Epictetus taught that we should avoid excess and seek moderation in all things. This includes our emotions and reactions. Temperance helps us maintain calm and composure, even in stressful situations, avoiding impulsive reactions that can cause regret. Practicing temperance also involves setting healthy boundaries in our relationships and commitments, ensuring that we are not overextending ourselves or neglecting our needs. Seneca highlighted the importance of temperance when he stated that, "The man who is master of himself, who is not a slave to desires and passions, is truly free." True freedom comes from the ability to control our desires and impulses, allowing us to live according to reason and virtue. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on the importance of temperance to maintain clarity and peace of mind. He believed that temperance was essential to making balanced and fair decisions, both in his personal life and as a leader. To develop temperance in our lives, it is helpful to practice daily self-reflection and meditation. Ask yourself, am I moderating my desires and actions? Am I making choices that promote balance and health? By doing so, we can identify areas where we need more moderation and take concrete steps to live more temperately. In short, temperance is a central virtue in Stoicism that helps us moderate our desires and actions, maintaining a healthy balance and avoiding excess. By applying temperance in our daily lives, we can achieve greater inner peace and live more rationally and virtuously. Exploring the 4 fundamental principles of Stoicism, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, provides us with a solid foundation for living a virtuous and meaningful life. Each principle teaches us to face life's challenges with resilience, to act with integrity, and to seek a healthy balance in all areas of our existence. By practicing these principles daily, we can transform the way we think and act, achieving lasting inner peace and a deep sense of fulfillment. If you found this video useful and inspiring, subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any new content. Join us on this Stoic journey and discover how this ancient philosophy can enrich your modern life. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.